Alright, Justin, welcome to the shop. Let me show you what I got cooking for you. Got your paddle down here. The yellow thing is a device for measuring center of round stock. So I measured the center with it, and I punched the center, both sides, mounted it in a self-centering vise on my drill press, brought my drill press table way down, and I got a Forstner bit in there, a nice one. So I'm going to hog this out, I don't know, a couple inches down. Then I'm going to mount it on the lathe, and we'll put some kind of shape in here. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll look at something and copy it or whatever. But I'll shape that on the lathe. But right now I got to get your center hole drilled. So that's what I'm doing now. So we're all set up to do that on the drill press. So it's nice that this drill press, it's got that table that you can drop way down. It's a floor mounted drill press, found it on Craigslist years ago. Thing's awesome. But that's what's nice about it. Like a bench top mounted one, you wouldn't be able to do this because you couldn't get the depth out of it. But this thing, I can keep going down pretty far to drill something out. Anyway, so talk to you in a bit. Getting there. Not exactly centered, but that's okay because we're going to use this as a point of reference next to true up the outer edge on the lathe. Let's see what that looks like. So, all right, not like I said, not exactly centered. That's okay. So this thing fits in there, and then what I'll do is I'll buy some epoxy and we'll epoxy that in there. But right now I can mount it on the lathe and then center up the outside with the inside hole as the point of reference for doing that. So that's what's going to help clear this whole thing up. Oh, yeah, it's a little off, but that's okay. All right, talk to you in a bit. Alright, so next step for this thing was to create like a jam chuck. I didn't have any of my accessories for my lathe. I didn't have anything that would work for this. So all I did was make a tapered like stud on a piece of wood, and that fits tight into there, so that'll jam it up against the drive of the lathe, right? We'll drive that, and then on this end of the lathe is a free spinning, and I have a couple different styles I can put on here, but this spins freely. So what's driving it is this. It'll spin it, and then I can start carving it. So talk to you in a minute. Alright, so I got it mounted on the lathe, and you can see how, maybe you can with the camera, I don't know, we'll see how untrue it is, I guess. But we're going to true that up because now we're using a point of reference here and there, and we'll work off of that and then just smooth all this out. So it'll look good when I'm done. It's just jammed up against in here. This point just drives it in and presses all of this to make friction here to drive it, because once your chisels start hitting this thing, it wants to stop it. So alright, got this thing mounted on there for you. Let's turn it on slow. Maybe you can see the wobble in it. Maybe not. Let's see if we can see it like a point of reference. Yeah. So it's out around, but now we're going to work off of the point of reference in the on each end, and we'll true it up to that because that's what the handle's going to sit on. So that'll be our point of reference. Anyway. So it's in there, it's jammed up against this jam chuck that I made, And then this thing spins freely. It's got ball bearings in there. And then we'll take a lathe or a tool to it, and we'll start working it. Give me a minute. Alright, so get you mounted on a tripod here. Let's see if I can't do a little bit of work. See what we get out of this. Start screwing it up. The motor on this lathe is a variable speed, and there's something wrong with it. When I put a lot of load on it, it doesn't like it. You can see here how it hits, but over here we're getting there. Something pretty nice right there. See that? You don't hear it? So now it's trued up on center. So I'll just bring it all to that line. I'm picking up a little bit of material, but getting there. Then we just got to figure out what kind of shape we want to make this thing. I'll have to look at my kitchen utensils or something and see how some of those are shaped. I think this thing's called just a roughing gouge. Problem is getting tight into here, but I'm going to get as close as I can, and then we'll cut off the rest on the chop saw. Won't be much. We'll see. Alright. I'm going to pause it. I'll get back to you in a minute here. Alright, first step's done. So, I got it rounded. Sorry about the camera. I hate working a camera. I'd rather just do either one or the other. Woodworking or camera. Not both. So, we'll start out here. We'll do a little something. We'll bring that down. Put a couple little lines in there. And then mount your stir, whatever you want to call it, in there with epoxy. So just to start. Talk to you in a bit. Alright, kind of liking that shape down on this end. I'll work on that end. Talk to you in a bit. Alright, got the shape of it. I'm going to stop right there. Saturday, I only get 2 days off, Justin. So, that's what we're going to do. But now we're going to sand it. So, to show you how I do that. I do that with this, I got a 3/8 drive Milwaukee drill. And I spent most of my life having a 1/2 inch drill. Right? And I don't really need a 1/2 inch drill for the work that I do around here. Just drilling small holes and stuff. So I bought the 3/8. I don't know what it was, 100 and something bucks. But I love this thing. So instead of hauling around, I got a 1/2 inch drill from DeWalt that I bought to replace my old one, and I bought it for dual purpose. One for just shop use, and the other one for drilling holes in ice when ice fishing. So the thing's a beast. So anyway, that's my rant on 3/8 drive drills. And I just use a little pad, and it helps when it's spinning this way and you get the drill going in a different direction. It really gives a good finish. So this is pretty aggressive sandpaper. So I'll go over it. I don't know if this thing's 100 maybe. We'll get it down to 220, 320. Get a good finish on it, and then we'll put something on it. So, gives a really good finish. I don't know what kind of wood this is, ash or something, but it's needs some work. I don't know if you've seen any of that or. So we'll take it down some more. Talk to you in a bit. Alright, Justin, I just had a thought here. So I sanded it. We're down to 220. It's feeling pretty good. What I'll do, again, I hate filming, is I'll raise the grain with some water. And then we'll give it another sanding of maybe 320. I'll show you what that looks like. But you got to let it dry. But basically, just squirt it down, wet it down. It'll raise all the other grain. So when you wash this thing, if you don't do this, it'll feel really rough. So let that soak in, dry. Raise the grain, sand it again. But while it's drying, let's try something. I just had an idea. This thing needs some kind of character, Justin. So let's try this. Bent up. Hey. If I can sharpen this piece here. Pick a spot. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Do one more. Okay. Put those in there. Now check this out. This is the only one I got, so we're going to use this. You can see that. Just a chunk of wire. It's hot. Alright, so I'm going to give this thing a finish. And the only thing I like that's going to be washed is a beeswax and a mineral oil finish. So all natural. I don't like polyurethane or anything like that. It'll eventually just, it'll fail. And so this will go in the dishwasher or whatever, and you'll be cleaning it maybe. So I'm just going to put what I would use for cutting boards and spoons and things like that. So you can pick this up, butcher block oil, whatever they want to call it, at Menards or Home Depot. Just use a paper towel and lay it on. Let it soak in. Soaks in there. It won't be hard on the slippery on the hands or anything. I'll do this a couple times, let it soak in. When the handle or the paddle goes into about the third line here, and I'm going to epoxy that in. I'll go to Menards and buy a little bit of epoxy. I don't think I have any more left. If I do, it's old. Yeah, looks pretty good. A little Saturday morning project for you. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, that's that. And I make this mineral oil and beeswax finish. I just buy gallons of mineral oil and then beeswax, put it in like a crock pot, heat it up, stir it up, and then put it in these containers. Anyway, feels good on the hands too. Talk to you in a bit.